Okay, this is Keith Moore here from Open Government TV and our affiliate, My Africa TV. We're here at the end of the President's State of the Union speech in Washington, D.C. And we have heard for about an hour and 10 minutes a very resilient, passionate plea to America and the nation to innovate, educate, focus on those kinds of programs that will inspire teachers. In fact, the President talked about in 10 years having 100,000 new teachers. He talked about being focused on science, technology, engineering, and math. Also talked about the immigration policy that he will support and sign. Said too many times we have people coming from other countries to get educated here, and then they leave, going back to their country. But yet they are singing the Star-Spangled Banner and loyal to America. So this speech today, this speech this evening by the President was clearly one to inspire hope and focus around leaders both on the Congress and the Senate side to come together and make policies that are going to encourage innovation, that is going to create jobs. It was very, very interesting to watch the different makeup of this particular speech, as well as the number of hand claps that the President did receive. In some cases, received by both Republicans and Democrats. We didn't necessarily see as much of a divided and certainly not a rancorous yelling out of disagreement. I think because of Congresswoman Gifford's unfortunate shooting in Tucson, Arizona, the reality is that there's too much divide, there's too much anger and venom, and not enough resolutions and not enough solutions and not enough approaches that bring people together. So it's going to be interesting to see how this particular speech gets analyzed by the journalists and the media and the pundits. The polls are showing the President up in the upwards of 49%, which in 30 days ago was probably 10 points lower than that. But tonight, I'm not sure if we're really talking about poll numbers. We're probably talking about how many young people are going to succeed in school, how many teachers are going to take their job even more seriously as to their direct connection to this economy and our future young people engaging in creating new technologies and new alternative energy sources. So this was a very interesting speech, very engaging, and we will see as we begin to interview some of the members of the House and the Senate as they come up and meet some of us here at the reporting docket. This is Keith Moore from Open Government TV with Congressman Lance here from New Jersey, representing which district? Seventh district. Thank you so much, Congressman Lance, for joining us. Congressman, the President just spoke for about an hour and 10 minutes, telling us the direction that we need to move the country in. What's your thoughts?
I liked parts of the speech, including reducing the corporate tax. I think that's a great idea, and also medical malpractice insurance reform. And I hope that we can work with the President and the administration in a bipartisan capacity. I favor lowering federal spending back to 2008 levels before the bailouts and the stimulus package, and I hope the President will meet us on that issue as well.
I'll tell you, that's Congressman Lance, a very conciliatory kind of analysis, and that's encouraging, because I think that's what the direction the country wants to do, is to forget about the partisan representations for a minute and see what we can do to work together. What do you feel about the innovation and the education, and with talking about reducing the budgets and going to cuts? Where are we going to cut?
I think that the Republicans will put out a plan next week for a continuing resolution for the rest of this year, and then the Appropriations Committee is working hard for the new budget year that begins July 1st. Unfortunately, we did not have a budget last year, and so we need a budget this year, and I hope that we can do that together. Republicans now help govern, but of course the Senate and the White House continue in Democratic hands. But I think there is now a shared responsibility here in Washington.
This is Keith Moore from Open Government TV and our affiliate, My Africa Channel TV. And we're here with Congressman Conrad from New York.
Crowley.
I
thought it was a wonderful speech. I thought it was well delivered, and I think well received for the most part. I think there was enough in there for both Democrats and Republicans to chew on. I'm a Democrat from New York City, and I certainly heard a lot of things that I respected. These are tough times. The president's calling the nation to challenge those tough times and to work through them.
Well, I think coming from a Democratic perspective, you probably had to be very proud, but even just more so coming from an American perspective, you know, you saw a leader talking about what we have to do to come together.
Yep.
Did you see, independently speaking, any challenges that are real fierce, and what would they be?
Fierce or fear?
Fierce.
Fierce, you know, I don't know if they're fierce in the sense that, you know, fierce to me conjures up bigger than we are.
And we're here with Congressman Ridgel from the Virginia area, and he has just come from the President's speech in the State of the Union. We're going to, Congressman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
What did you think about the speech, or better said, what did you think about the substance of what was said?
Okay. I'm a first-time elected official, and so first of all, it's a great honor to represent my district and to be in the House. The message that the President delivered on many points I can fully agree with. But I think the key is going to be the substance. You know, are we really going to address federal spending, for example? I think it presents a serious risk to all Americans, and it's not really our grandchildren. It includes our grandchildren, but we have to move it up not one but two generations. Every person in the House chamber tonight, I think, is at risk because of federal spending, and I just need to see more from the President and more from the House on that matter.
Congressman Ridgel, from the standpoint of being transparent in your first term, the opportunity is abundant to learn a lot, but we seem to be on a collision course here and needing to make some pretty quick decisions. So how are we going to balance the two?
Spending and things like that. Well, if you look at what the Republicans have done, every week that I've been here in Congress, and that's only been about 3, but every week that I've been here, we've introduced and passed measures that actually reduce federal spending. The American people understand that we need to do that, and that we can't continue to borrow 40% of what we're spending, and this goes beyond party. Every American is at risk, and I'm a business owner, an entrepreneur, first-time candidate, and now elected official, and there's a lot of us that were sent up who have this business background that understand that we need to really take definitive steps to address our fiscal situation.
Well, it's interesting that small business, job creation are at the cornerstone of our turning this around. How do we do that if government is our major we're the biggest buyer of goods and services, and their budgets are cut so significantly? That's striking to see how we figure that one out.
Well, the President even he really struck a chord with Congress clearly tonight when he said, listen, let's make the health care bill better. Now, I think we ought to start over, and that's why I voted for repeal. But even that idea of reducing the requirement of the 1099s and the $600, that's a practical step. And listen, we'll take it. If we can get that through and the President will sign it, we'll do that. And we'll keep taking these steps to reduce the burden of government. And whenever I hear the President talk about investment, that's kind of a nice word for more money. And I really want to get, and I think our Republican conference, and I trust my friends, Democrats as well, really want to get the private sector investing, and not as much talk about the public sector investing.
Well, Congressman Ridgely, we're going to stay very much so connected with you because you are new and also because you're coming from the business community. And I think you'd be advocating for that community in a very tough time. So thank you so much for spending a couple minutes with us today, and we'll look for the future conversations, okay?
I appreciate that. Thanks so much.